It's not every day that you find Eagles coach Andy Reid, his wife Tammy, and Eagles legend Vince Papale taking time out of their weekend to attend an open house at an auto body shop. But Executive Auto Body is not your ordinary body shop. The reason big names and so many others come to Executive Auto Body in Cheltenham or Willow Grove is the owner, Bill Pao. He is one of those people who changes lives. I first met Bill when I was producing a television show which featured Executive Auto Body. But there was so much more to this story. Bill Pao is one of those people who does not seek attention. He has many big-name friends, most of whom he's met through his charitable work. You see, Bill is known across the Delaware Valley as a guy who gives back, often. One of the best examples of that can be seen in the biggest guy at Executive Auto Body. His name is Garrett Reid, son of Eagles coach Andy Reid. Garrett is one of the Reid boys who got in lots of trouble. Garrett spent a couple of years in prison, and when he got out, he needed a job. Bill Pao gave it to him.
I appreciate Bill giving Garrett an opportunity to work, and he put him to work. So it was good manual labor. It gave him an appreciation of things after he was incarcerated for as long as he was. Coming out, you kind of need that. At the same time, it got his self-esteem level up, self-worth up. The people here were very supportive. Garrett's going back to college. I give credit to the guys here for staying on him about that, and that was the last thing on his itinerary or thought process coming out. So
it's been a real good experience for me. I've enjoyed it. I didn't know anything about the automotive business, but Mr. Palo has been real good to me. The people here are real good people, and that's probably what I take away from the shop the most, is that they're just good, honest, hard-working people. It's a fun place to work, and I enjoy it.
Although Executive Auto Body is about the cleanest, most state-of-the-art body shop in America, it's still a place where tough guys do tough work. From Bill Pao right on down, they did not give Garrett Reid any preferential treatment because of who his dad is.
I don't think you should be treated any different. I don't want to be treated different. I don't want the kids to be treated different. Now, sometimes that happens, but I don't believe in that. That's not something that we don't walk around with our chests out because we're Reids. That's not how we go about business. So, but I appreciate the guys. They humble you in these kind of situations, and it's good that he was treated like one of the guys. I think that's important.
He walks from the bus. I mean, in the snow, he got here every day, and he made no excuses. He don't ask for anything special because of who he is. He's one of the guys, and the guys all love him. He never backtalked, never complained. Garrett, go do this. Garrett, go do that. Okay, no problem. Never questioned anything. And I'm impressed. I really am impressed with the kid.
Bill Pao has always rooted for the underdog because he was a bit of an underdog as a kid. He was always short. He's only about 5'5.5" now, but as a kid growing up in Germantown and Mount Airy, he learned to box at the Police Athletic League, and after graduation from Cardinal Doherty, he was known as a pretty tough Philly kid by his fellow Marines. Now, at a little past 60, Bill Pao can still be a tough guy, but he's always fair, which is why his employees and customers love him.
I believe in being fair and honest with everybody, and I treat every car like I would want my car treated. You know, and I make no exceptions. You know, I mean, a lot of body shops just are here for bing bang, take the money one time, and that's the end of it. I try to make every customer a lifetime customer.
One of the things that drives Bill Pao crazy about the auto body business is that though there are some great shops in the Delaware Valley, there are also plenty of shysters out there. The day we were shooting Bill's interview, he was fuming at how one of his customers had been treated at another shop. Listen closely. We could all learn from this.
A lot of people don't know when you have an accident that what to do. Like there's guys out there with tow trucks which are wreck chasers, and they'll come up to you and you're all shaking, you're nervous, you're upset, you were just in an accident. Might have been your first time. And they give you a paper and they tell you, oh, you have to sign this because this is a towing agreement. And we can't tow your car unless you sign it. And it turns out that they're really not towing agreements. It's an entrapment of, for an authorization for them to repair your car, which really is criminal. Now, I have an example right here in my hand. One of my customers was in an accident. She told them she wanted the car brought here. They told her they couldn't bring it here. They had to put it in their storage lot. Well, I picked the car up the next day, 1 day later, and for 1 day, my charges to them was $745 in cash because they would not take a check. They charged $175 to tow it, $30 for mileage, $105 to store the car for 1 night, $20 yard fee, $75 cleanup fee, and the car was actually drivable. They charged $150 administration fee to make me up a receipt that has no name on it, and $190 to wench a car that was drivable. So the total was $745, and it had to be paid in cash. And the customer had to go there physically with my tow truck driver, present her driver's license, her owner's card, and the cash for me to get her car out of there after 1 day. And this is what makes me successful, because I wouldn't do this.
At Executive Auto Body, Bill gives you a lifetime warranty for his team's work. It's that simple. Jot down this number and keep it in your car. Don't be a victim after an accident.
If somebody's sticking a paper in front of you telling you, just sign this, you have to sign it, it's a towing agreement, don't sign it. If you have a body shop, tell them you want to call your body shop. If the police come to the scene, tell the police you do not want these people to tow your car. You have a body shop that you want to tow to, and just give them the name of the body shop, the phone number. We have a 24-hour number here. People call here after hours, it rings right at my house. And it doesn't matter what time of day, night, someone calls me, I will have a tow truck there within a half hour.
Jot down this number and keep it in your car. Don't be a victim after an accident. You've got to call Executive Auto Body no matter where you are. Write it down and have it in your car. If you're watching this TV program, you are in the area served by Executive Auto Body's 2 locations. People bring their cars here from hundreds of miles away. It's worth it to them because they know Executive will do the best job in the country. And there's no such thing as a ripoff here. It simply won't happen. That is one of the reasons that Vince Pao also took out time from his weekend to come to an open house at Executive Auto Body. Vince and Bill Pao go way back. They were brother-in-laws back in 1977.
We used to hang out. We did everything together and partied together and did social things. And anytime I'd be out on an event, Bill would always be there. But I think the thing he did is that he would take my cars. Still to this day, he's taking care of me and he's taking care of my cars. He's one of the nicest, most generous people you ever meet.
I learned a lot from Vince Pao. Vince was a big influence on me. When Vince was playing for the Eagles, I used to go to all the speaking engagements with him. I was like a sidekick to him, kind of. He would go to dinners and benefits and golf outings, and Vince never, ever would turn anyone away, whether he be eating dinner, playing golf, sitting at a bar, having a beer. He always made the time, and that really impressed me, that a guy of his stature, because at the time, he was Philadelphia's own Rocky, and Vince would never turn you away.
Vince is well known for making his fans happy, and Bill Pao and the Palo family at Executive Auto Body are well known for superior customer service.
One of the first things you feel when you come in here, just looking around and seeing the surroundings, it's a little bit different than just an auto body shop. It's got a different feel, it's got a different touch, and the thing that's different in that touch is the personal care that they take. And what Bill will do to make you feel good as somebody who just became victim to a car crash.
On this day, Vince Pao and Andy Reid were doing what they could to show their support for Bill Pao. Both men spent a couple of hours and donated items for a charity auction to help children in need, Bill Pao's passion.
Bill's there for you, no matter what it might be, and the relationship that he's developed with Andy Reid, and his son. So, there was a situation where Andy and his son, they needed some help, and Bill was the first one to reach out. And so that relationship that's been developed right there is nurtured, and it's warm and it's real.
Please think about that the next time you bang up your car. Bill Pao and the Palo family, most of whom work here, and the executive team, which is the most professional anywhere, really do care about you.
So you're going up to Willow Grove today?
Yep.
Okay. Everything here's on schedule.
Yep.
That's on schedule. You got everything?
Bill Pao has surrounded himself with family. His 2 nephews are here, Joshua and Jeremy. They are the sons of Bill's older brother, Val, who passed away. Bill has a tribute to Val on his car, painted by Linda Gordon. She's been doing executives pinstriping for more than 25 years.
Bill is a very kind, a generous, the type of person that lives by the rule that you do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and he does that.
Linda says although many big names bring their cars to Bill Pao at Executive, Bill is closest with people whose names you wouldn't recognize. Retired Philadelphia police officer Ron Lyles has been coming to Executive Auto Body for about 25 years, and he's sent lots of people here.
High quality work, without a doubt. The best I've ever seen. I like to use an expression that I kind of steal. It says, you've tried the rest, now try the best. And this is definitely the best.
All this praise is certainly not what Bill Pao seeks. I had to twist his arm to let me tell his story. He quietly gives away lots of things, including scores of tickets to sporting events, making it possible for children all over the Delaware Valley to see a Philadelphia sports team. He's able to do that because his team at Executive is really good. It starts with Sandy Bianchini. She's been here on and off for over 25 years. For the last 13, Sandy has usually been the first person you see or speak to when you come into Executive.
You know, through experience, what these people have gone through. You have people that, you know, come in here and just are hysterical. They've had children in the car, their babies are crying. You just have to, it's almost like you want to treat them as if they are your brother and sister, or your mother or father, or your grandmother and grandfather. And they appreciate that.
Sandy and everyone in the Executive team go to bat for customers. We eavesdropped as Fran Palo, Bill's younger brother, spoke to an insurance company about a customer who'd gotten ripped off at another auto body shop. Listen closely.
Jimmy, it's Fran from Executive Auto Body. Yeah, that Ford that I called you about yesterday, we got the car out of the shop this morning. Now, you know, the car was towed in there yesterday. They charged him $810 in fees to take the car out. And, you know, the worst part about it was the guy had thought he was doing the right thing by having the car towed there until he went to take his personal belongings out. They wouldn't even let him in the car. The fella that he spoke to at the shop wouldn't even give him a clear answer on whether or not he worked there. So I think this is something that bears looking into.
Like his brother, Fran is disgusted when he hears about auto body shop ripoffs.
One of the worst feelings in the world is when I'll get an older person, maybe a widow, she'll come here, give me the information that was given to her by another shop, or told me how she was brushed off, how they wouldn't give her an estimate, or it's absolutely frustrating. It's very frustrating. Or they'll give her an estimate for $400 or $500 to paint a bumper on the car and go into a fender, when we can walk out there with a little polish, clean it off for her, and send her on her way inside of 10 minutes for no charge. And it's just frustrating that they would try to get over. That's my biggest problem. The other thing that's very common is on accident scenes, there's guys called wreck chasers. And, you know, a person will get in an accident, again, as you said, it's a very emotional thing. I mean, it's your automobile, you may be hurt. A lot of times people don't know what to do, and a wreck chaser will walk up to someone and say, hey, look, I can get your car towed, I can save your deductible, I can put you in a rental car at no expense to you. All you have to do is sign at the dotted line, and I'll get this car over to a shop and we'll get it taken care of. What they don't tell you is they're charging that shop a fee, sometimes up to 25 and 30% of the gross job to do that. Now, what you got to think about is, where does that 30% come from? Somebody's getting shortcutted here. It's not the wreck chaser, and it's not the shop owner. It's you as the consumer.
The meat of this business is family. Everywhere you look at Executive Auto Body, you run into someone with a last name of Palo.
The customers like the fact that we're all family. And I mean, I've heard comments a lot up front where the customers will say, wow, everybody here's name's Palo. You know, and I always comment, did you read the sign out front? It says Palo, family owned and operated. And I mean, a lot of places say family owned and operated, but they really aren't. We are family owned and operated.
Executive's general manager is Crescent Harris. His name is not Palo, but it might as well be.
Crescent's like another brother. Crescent's been here for 25 years. Crescent treats it like it's his own. If something goes wrong at the shop, Crescent doesn't sleep at night. I mean, Crescent's like one of us. He's never ever treated us. In fact, Crescent has big Memorial or Labor Day picnics every year. He invites the entire Palo family. He's always done that. Sandy's been here since Billy started the business. And Sandy at one point was Billy's sister-in-law. So Sandy's like one of the family.
Both Sandy and Crescent do business like the Palos, the right way every time.
I guess the philosophy with Billy is you don't have to make $1 million on every car. You know, you just gotta make the customer happy, and then work will come. And we're always busy and everything else, and it's always a lot of word of mouth.
Jimmy Doherty runs Executive's Willow Grove location. He says Bill Pao is like a father figure who always preaches quality workmanship.
Well, it means a lot to customers because Billy always instilled in everybody that you know, the customer always comes first. You know, the old saying, customer's always right. Just try to make them happy, do that extra mile to just get everything done and get everything right for the customer.
Make sure you set it up like you did that Mercedes yesterday. You did a good job on that thing.
Josh Palo is the shop foreman. He's worked here his entire life and learned a lot about how to treat people by watching his Uncle Bill.
Yeah, oh, he cares. I mean, believe me, I've seen him give people stuff for free just because he cared, because he knew they couldn't afford to get what they needed done. And he just does it for them because that's just how he is. Like, his motto is, you don't need to make money on every single job.
All he really cares about is when that car's out on the street and you're going to show it to somebody when it's done, they're going to ask you where it got done. And he wants to know if his name's on that job, that car looks like $1 million.
Jeremy and Josh tell a good story about a local mechanic who checked out Executive Auto Body several years ago. He then quietly sent several of his customers to Executive without telling the Palos.
Pretty much sent, I can say, a half dozen cars I sent to them, and they really had no idea where it was coming from.
Bob is one of the best mechanics in this region. He would never send his customers to a bad body shop. He knew he had a good one in Executive when that first group of customers came back with rave reviews.
Spoke very highly of Josh in particular because that's pretty much who I sent, and just thought the work was fabulous, the price was fair, and just very good service.
The guys who actually fix the cars at Executive are second to none. You see lots of gray hair here, and as a guy with white hair, I love that. This team is so experienced. Vio came here from Romania many years ago. He handles the very tough jobs, and he helps the younger guys do it the Executive way. Perfect every time.
We must measuring everything what is possible to do to be perfect. Okay. Because people who is in this car must be safe.
He is just by far the finest. He has worked for me over 25 years, and I would be lying if I said we ever had a car that he fixed come back because something was wrong with it. He is the only body man I've ever seen in my life to never, ever have a car come back for anything.
I love to teach kids to be like me, to do quality. That is so important. I told everybody, when you bring a car inside the shop, that car belongs to you. Treat that car like it's yours. And when you treat the car like it's yours, there you can see the quality.
Quality workmanship is much easier at Executive Auto Body because the guys like 64-year-old Vio who actually are doing the heavy lifting are treated right by the boss.
Bill, for me, is the best boss. Like everybody, when they come from foreign country in this beautiful country, they pray for a boss like Billy, who is, who called me like a part of the family.
Jack Hofer's another guy who's been around a while. He's 60 years old, but moves around a car like he's 20. Jack is the type of guy you want working on your car. Like Vio and all the other guys here, he could work anywhere, but chooses to work at Executive Auto Body because quality is everything to him.
It's a family-run business. I love working for Billy. I've known him since I was probably 15 years old. I've had my cars fixed here. This is a place that I wanted to work, and I wanted to be a part of that because I know the kind of work that comes out of this place. I get a sense of pride when I finish with a car and it leaves here, and you have a hard time telling whether or not it just can't lift the factory. I mean, they equal the factory.
Top-notch work, top-notch people, and top-notch equipment. Auto body work, from the paint to the mechanics, is highly specialized these days, and a shop's equipment really matters.
I don't just buy good equipment, I buy the best, okay? And the reason for that is you need to put cars back to factory specs, especially if you have a lease car. You take a car back off lease, they try to find ways to take money from you, okay? So we have like a turn back process for people. If your car's going off a lease, you bring it in here, we know what to check to make sure that when it goes back, they can't hold you up. Because most dealerships will grab you for $200-300 for no reason, just because you don't know any better. But as far as the equipment goes, we were one of the first body shops in the industry 20-some years ago when we bought our blow-therm paint booth. It was only one of 3 in the whole state. It was very expensive, and a very dear man in my life, he's like a father to me, Gilbert Tucker, he lent me the $55,000 that it took to buy that paint booth. And I then went to a airless type compressor system, which actually, we have it ventilated, and the air that comes out of it into the neighborhood is cleaner than the air that you're breathing because of the filtration system, which again, that was another $45,000. And again, Mr. Tucker came through for me with the money. And then I needed a resistance welder, which was like $12,000, $13,000. And I called Mr. Tucker and he wrote me a check, come and pick it up, Bill. So through the years, anytime and every time I've ever needed money to keep the place going or to buy equipment, Mr. Tucker and his wife Lucy have been there for me.
Bill always paid back those loans and pays forward by helping others now that he can afford to do it. Bill became good friends with rock star John Bon Jovi when Bon Jovi owned the Philadelphia Soul football team. Bill donated thousands of dollars worth of tickets to kids. Bon Jovi heard about it and called Bill to a meeting.
He said, well, you just gave me a great idea. He said, and I'm going to do a program, partnership with businesses that want to give tickets to children, whatever. And that's how my friendship became, you know, the way it is with John. In fact, he cut up a box and gave me a CD. He said, this is coming out in a month. It's called This Left Feels Right. And I said, well, would you autograph it for my wife? He said, sure. What's her name? I said, Carol. He said, wow, that's funny. He said, my mother's name is Carol. So as we got talking, his mother was in the Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps. He signed the CD for Carol, put in a heart with an arrow through it. He said, she'll know what this means. And then a couple days later, he gave me one of every CD with his autograph for my wife.
That was several years ago. The auto body king and the rock star are still good friends, with the common thread being charity.
He's like that with everyone. It's not just customers. I remember I had a friend that broke down, and I didn't even know it. She called my brother Bill, and he got in his car and drove in the pouring rain and changed her tire. I mean, the reason Billy's so successful in business is it's the same way he is in real life. I mean, there's not anyone I know that could call him and ask him for anything and he wouldn't do it. I mean, that's just the way he is. So I think that carries across and makes him successful as a business person.
Dolores Palo is very proud of all of her kids. She didn't want to single out just one of them, but I asked her specifically about Bill.
Well, Billy really cares about people. So I'm sure when he takes care of their car, he takes care of it like it was one of his own family, because that's the way he is.
One of the customers who Bill cared most about was a young woman he met over 21 years ago.
We meet by accident, and that's how I met my wife. She had an accident, I met her, fell in love, we got married.
He's an excellent husband. I couldn't ask for a better husband in the world, really. Treats me like a queen. There's nothing he wouldn't do for me or my family, so I'm really, really, really fortunate, and I know that, and I count my blessings every day.
Carol says the way Bill treats the people close to him is a good indicator about how he treats his customers. He simply will not have an unsatisfied customer.
Because my husband absolutely ensures that you're going to get a good job here. Again, it's the reputation on the line, and there's just no way he's going to risk his reputation. He has spent 26 years building a reputation.
No other body shop compares. I mean, if you walk into another body shop, you don't even want to sit down. It's dirty. People aren't very friendly. In here, a customer is, it's not about the money.
The ultimate goal for him is to just make them feel at home and make it as easy as possible in a bad experience. He cares very much about his customers, which it's amazing. I mean, we've had customers come and they've referred like everyone they know because they're so comfortable once they meet him.
And that brings us back to the beginning of this story, an act of kindness that gave Eagles coach Andy Reid's son a new start. It all began when Milt Halstead, who's worked for the Eagles in various capacities for decades, called Bill and asked if he could help Garrett Reid. Milt gets emotional when he thinks of all the kids Bill Pao has helped over the years.
Billy has been a great, great inspiration because he helps me with the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame Scholarship Fund, and he also helps me with the high school all-star game. I don't know the exact number, but Billy's contributed thousands, it's in the program, Billy's contributed thousands of dollars in scholarship money. Billy's even paid for shoes for kids to come to the banquet. He's even gotten rental suits for kids that don't even own a suit.
Milt also fought back the tears when he talked about how Bill Pao had no hesitation when he was asked to help the coach's son.
Nobody would hire him. I came to Billy.
No problem with Billy.
None.
Billy really changed that kid's life, Billy and
Yep.
you two
Yep.
guys. How
Yep.
do you feel about that?
He's become a man. He's off the narcotics. He listened. I'm so proud he's going back to school. That's it.
It's tough to make a body man cry, but for both Milt and Bill, kids in need can do that. And that's why they give so much to causes such as the Special Olympics. It's all about the kids.
This little kid made me cry. I mean, he got his little ribbon, and he won, and he had my T-shirt on, and I mean, the kid was hugging me. And it was, you know, phew, I didn't mean to get like that. But that's why I like kids. I like to help handicapped kids. And just so happens that I have grandchildren who are handicapped.
Bill says his grandson Billy has been a big influence on him. Billy has autism and a lot of love for his pop-up.
I love being a Palo.
I don't blame you, Billy. As for Garrett Reid, he walked into this shop as an ex-con, son of a football coach who needed a second chance. Garrett Reid left Executive Auto Body as we were shooting this story to go back to college. His troubles are behind him. But he did not leave without saying a big thank you to Bill Pao and everyone on the executive team.
You know, I'll always be coming back here. I'll stay in touch with these guys for the rest of my lives. Like, they're good people, and they've helped me out, like I said, when no one else would. And they don't know the level of appreciation that I have towards them for what they've done for me. So, I mean, there'll always be people I keep in contact with.
I couldn't help but ask Andy if Bill Pao will have any trouble getting Eagles tickets this year.
Bill's at the top of the list.
Executive Auto Body and the Palo family. You might meet by accident, but you will likely stay friends long after that car is fixed. For World Business Watch, I'm Rich Noonan. We'll see you next time.